Hello, who am I seems to be one of the fundamental questions of our generation, and I think the philosopher Baruch Spinoza, born on this day in 1632, might have something helpful to say about it. We've become increasingly obsessed, I think, with identity and who we are. And whereas previously it was very much to do with our genetic makeup and the environment in which we grew up, um, these things for generations were what determined our identity, and we were happy to be part of it. But now, with the increasing mobility of society and the rather fractured nature of family, that no longer holds for a lot of people. And I think the danger is that we get stuck. Clearly, in our first years, it matters that we are the centre of attention. We need to make sure we get fed. People kindly regard us and make sure that we're breathing properly and are looked after. But there comes a point where that's no longer essential for our survival. But I think the danger is that in these days, people, all of us, perhaps to some extent, have got stuck in that assumption that what matters is us, and how the world is seen from our point of view is what counts, and our egos are what's important. And I think that we perhaps need to move away from that. Apart from anything else, it's one reason, I think, why the growth of division in society, because we very often associate who we are with what we think. And so when someone attacks the ideology of the particular group with which we identify ourselves, it's as though they're attacking us. And so, if someone's ideology is based on lies or fabrications, um, telling them that the facts dispute what they believe is not going to help, because it's so fundamental to them to have a sense of their own identity that they'll cling on to the beliefs that give them that identity, come what may. But Baruch Spinoza suggests a different way of thinking about ourselves. He's Jewish background, but banished from all Jewish activities because of his criticism of them. He was not a believer in a God who cared, a God who had feelings, a God who acted. His God was very much a God who was part of everything, the ultimate reality, as a more modern philosopher and theologian has put it. And this God is in everything, and yet is more than everything. And all of us are part of this deeper reality, which he describes in a number of different ways, but which for him is the source and being of everything that exists. He's called it monism, not monotheism, but not one God, but monism, because he doesn't really believe in the traditional idea of God. God is much more a rational being, not a being at all really, a rational idea that gives solidity and meaning to everything that exists. And so for us, the important thing is to find our identity in being part of something big. Identity shifts, it changes as ideas change in our hearts and thoughts, as our feelings change, as our experiences enable us to develop and become different people. But what is the underlying thread throughout all our lives, through the whole of our lives, is that we're part of this ultimate reality which gives meaning and purpose to everything that exists, including an sense of identity to each of us.